Welcome to HUD's online training series on the Integrated Disbursement and Information System, also known as IDIS, for the Housing Trust Fund Program. In this training, we will learn how to set up, fund, draw down, and complete an HTF administration activity. HTF grantees can expend up to 10% of their annual allocation and 10% of the program income they deposit in their HTF local account and record as a PI receipt in IDIS on administration costs related to their HTF program. Administration costs include reasonable staff and overhead costs related to carrying out HTF projects, such as program management, coordination, monitoring, and evaluation. Once a grantee's HTF grant is loaded into IDIS, the system automatically sets aside 10% of the grant in an AD subfund. These AD funds must be used for HTF administration costs or moved out of the AD subfund and into EN so that these funds can be used for HTF project costs. Subfunds and subgrants will be covered in a separate module. This online training will review the following steps in IDIS: activity setup, activity funding, drawdowns, and activity completion. Once logged into IDIS, select the Plans, Projects, Activities tab in the top left of the window. The Search Activities screen will load. On the left toolbar, select Add under the Activity menu. This will load the Add Activity screen. First, choose the Annual Action Plan Project ID to associate your administration activity with. You should have set up an administration project as part of your annual action plan. Next, enter an activity name. Most HTF grantees set up one HTF admin activity for each program year. So let's call this activity 2019 HTF Admin. Then you'll need to select an activity category. Since this is an administration activity, you'll need to select AD only from the drop-down menu on the HTF program row. Next, click on the Save button to save your information and load the Edit Activity screen. It's a good idea to take note of the IDIS activity ID to make it easier to search for, edit funding, and draw down funds for this activity later. Now that our 2019 HTF admin activity is set up, we can fund it. HTF grantees usually fund each program year's admin activity with the AD funds that have been set aside for that year. Grantees are not expected to have a written agreement for these admin activities. However, the grantee must maintain proper documentation to support administrative costs. To fund our 2019 HTF admin activity, click on the Funding Drawdown tab in the top middle of the screen. This will load the Search for Activities to Fund screen. Enter the IDIS activity ID you made note of earlier, or search for the activity by name. When the 2019 HTF admin activity appears in the search results, click on the Add Edit link for this activity. The Edit Activity Funding screen will load. Select the Add Edit link for the AD fund type. This will bring up the HTF Activity Funding certification screen. Carefully read the certification, and if you can certify that you have met all of the above requirements, you may click on I agree. Continue to add edit funding details. This is the screen where you indicate which year's HTF funds you would like to use for the activity. Since this is our 2019 HTF admin activity, we'll fund it with the 10% of our 2019 funds that have been set aside for AD. Type in the funded amount next to the grant year of the funds you want to use and then click Save to fund your activity. Now that your 2019 HTF admin activity has been funded, you will be able to draw down funds for the activity in IDIS. HTF admin funds may only be drawn in IDIS when you have incurred an eligible HTF admin cost. Let's say we have incurred staff salary payroll costs from the previous month in the amount of $34,923. To draw the funds for this eligible admin cost, click the Funding Drawdown tab in the top middle of the screen and select Create Voucher from the left toolbar under the Drawdown heading. This will load the first of the Create Voucher screens. You will enter the IDIS activity ID of your 2019 HTF admin activity here, and click the Continue button at the bottom of the screen. This is the second Create Voucher screen. This is where you enter the amount you want to draw down, then click Confirm Voucher to continue. This is the third Create Voucher screen. You should verify that all the information is correct on this screen. Check for possible errors in the IDIS activity ID, grant year, fund type, and drawdown amount. If something is incorrect, select Cancel Voucher and start the drawdown process again. If everything appears correct, click Generate Voucher to create the drawdown voucher. You will see the following message if your drawdown voucher is successfully created. You should write down this voucher number for your records. Once the drawdown voucher has been created, you will need a second person with the appropriate IDIS privileges and authority to approve the voucher. This is an opportunity to again review the information on the drawdown voucher for accuracy. From the Funding Drawdown tab, click the Approve Voucher link on the left toolbar under the Drawdown heading. Enter the IDIS voucher number from the voucher you created earlier and click Search. The screen will refresh and the voucher will appear below the search fields. Click on the Maintain Approve link to the right of the screen to proceed. This is the Maintain and Approve Voucher screen. This is where the approver can approve the voucher, fix any incorrect information, or cancel the voucher entirely. To approve the voucher line item, click Approve to the right of the screen. This is the Confirm Voucher Line Item Approval screen. Click Approve this voucher line item to confirm approval. When the voucher is successfully approved, you will see Voucher Item Approved Successfully in the top left. Once all the funds for your administration activity have been drawn, you should complete the activity in IDIS. To do this, first navigate to the Edit Activity screen for the activity. Then run a completion check by clicking on the Check HTF button. If everything is in order, you will get this message. And you will be able to change the activity status to completed. After changing the status to completed, remember to click Save. Congratulations! You have completed the Setup, Fund, Draw, and Complete HTF Administration Activities in IDIS module. Additional resources on the Housing Trust Fund program and IDIS are available on the HUD Exchange. You can access the IDIS Ask a Question desk if you have additional questions. You are now ready to move on to one of the additional training modules featured in this online training.